name is Biodun Nesin Olagwiji, and also a professor at the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Ekiti State University. In this session, I shall be presenting sexual and reproductive health and rights. At the end of this section, you should be able to understand the components of sexual and reproductive health and rights, as well as its benefits to the individual, the families, the society, the community, the nation and the international community. Sexual and reproductive health and rights encompass efforts to eliminate preventable maternal and neonatal mortality and morbidity, ensure quality sexual and reproductive health services, including contraceptive services, as well as addressing sexually transmitted infections and cervical cancer, violence against women, and sexual and reproductive health needs of adolescents. Universal access to sexual and reproductive health is essential to achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. Ensuring the Sustainable Development Goal framework speaks to the needs and aspirations of people globally and realization of health and human rights. The sexual reproductive health and rights areas requiring further attention include unmet need for contraception, comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services for adolescents and young people, preventional management of unsafe abortion and its consequences, gender equality, violence against women and girls, and cancers related to reproduction. In 2014, based on progress reports, WHO reaffirms its commitments to making sexual and reproductive health a priority. And this underscores the commitment of WHO to sexual and reproductive health. Like I said earlier, sexual and reproductive health and rights are fundamental to individuals, couples, and families, as well as attaining social and economic development of communities and nations. Over 20 years after the ICPD and United Nations Fourth World Conference on Women, sexual reproductive health and rights remains an unfinished agenda. And much remains to be done to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal Target 3, which includes reducing the global maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 per 100,000 live births by 2020 and ensuring universal access to sexual and reproductive care services, including family planning, information and education, integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs by 2030. The justification for sexual and reproductive health and rights as a priority for Sustainable Development Goals include better control of women's fertility. This especially among girls, and this has been found that girls who have better control of their fertility are more likely to remain in education longer, accumulate more skills, and eventually earn higher wages. According to a World Bank report, female participation in labor force decreases with each additional child. Among women aged 25 to 39 years, it's been found that with each additional child, there's a 10 to 15% points decrease in the participation in labor force, while among women aged 40 to 49 years, there's a 5 to 10% points decrease in their participation in the labor force. Universal access to sexual and reproductive health is therefore not only an essential human rights priority to ensure women's empowerment and gender equality, it is also a key international development priority. In conclusion, sexual and reproductive health and rights is a global health, development, and human rights priority. Thank you for listening.